everybody, and welcome back to A Home for the Holidays, where we are taking you along our journey as our new home is nearing completion. This particular episode is going to be, I'm talking about the structural options for the home, which has to be chosen at the time of contract. But before we go through all of that, we're going to give you a real-time update on the progress of our home, and boy, has there been a lot of progress.
So my real-time update is we're moving stuff into a pod. This is pod number 2. So we've got pod number 1 is already gone. It's already at the warehouse. That has some of the essential stuff that we want to move in as soon as possible. This is pod number 2, which is the non-essential stuff. So this is going to show up the Monday after we close. So almost a week after we close, we're going to get this pod delivered, and it's just the extra stuff that we don't really need and really probably should have donated or given away half of this, but we have lots of stuff. So that's my real-time update. Is they're coming to pick up pod number 2 as we speak. They're on the way, so I've got to close this up, get that sent off.
So you might be able to hear, there's actually someone out front doing the power washing of the front lanai, as well as both of the garages and the paver driveway. So that's happening out front. Behind us,
so obviously the first thing we have that you can see is we have sod. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. It's our big, beautiful backyard that I'm so excited about. A couple of things, we have irrigation. Notice the irrigation system is running. When you put new sod down, you want to soak that sucker, because you want those roots to take hold, and that's the key to getting a good lawn out of sod, is to soak it. Couple of things that we also have are trees, as you'll notice there. Now there's a magnolia over here, and you'll notice when we show you the front of the house, there's no tree in the front. This magnolia was actually going to go in the front, but we're getting a foxtail palm to go out there, so we asked the builder if he just put the magnolia here. Not super happy about where the tree is in the middle, but the truth is that one's moving anyway at some point, because we're going to have a pool there, so we'll go from there.
And our LVP, our luxury vinyl plank flooring, is completely in. It is covered with paper at the moment, but trust me, it's gorgeous when you see it all laid out.
That LVP is beautiful, but we are going to go over that sucker with a fine-tooth comb. We showed you last week that we paid a lot of money for that LVP. If you look in the great room, it was, almost $7,000 just for that one room. We've already shared with the builder, we're bringing a magnifying glass to our new homeowner orientation, and we want that floor to be pristine, because honestly, it was the highest priced item in the entire house.
So not only is the LVP flooring in, but the carpet is now in for the few rooms where we chose carpet. And finally, our mini fridges have been installed here in the studio suite, although I think we're still waiting on one up in the pub area in the media room.
So the second refrigerator is actually up here. It's just not installed yet. And we got a free cup of salsa. So today we're going to talk to you a little bit about structural options. Last week we took you through all the design options that we chose. And now we're going to go down this structural list right here in the middle. You can see the prices there. We'll share the prices with you as we go through. But the other piece of it is, why we chose those options, how it turned out, and kind of would we do that again? Because as you can see, we chose a lot of options to put in the house. We chose almost everything. The very first item on our upgrade list is a service upgrade. So what that means is we moved from 200 amp service to 300 amp service. So our house has 300 amps. We thought that was important because, first of all, we use a lot of power, but also, we're putting in a pool. There's a lot of other stuff that we run electrically. We just want to make sure we don't have a lot of breakage tripping, so we have more amperage in the house.
So one of the structural options was what they called an alternate island. So the alternate island is this. Ultimately, this gives me more additional cabinet space down below the island. Normally, this would just be a straight piece of drywall, no storage. I opted to have the storage, which just basically utilizes the well that's inside that island a little bit more efficiently. Keep keep in mind though, when we talked about the design center, when we chose the structural option to do the alternate island, there's still an additional expense even beyond that. For instance, you know, if you're upgrading your cabinets, then you upgrade them on the additional island. If you've upgraded or chosen a more expensive hardware, that too is then going to be something that's added. And then there was another thing that we actually did not add, because candidly at that point we were getting so frustrated that we said we don't need it, which was there was a decorative option that could be done along the side of the island that would have just kind of continued the facade. But there's going to be 2 stools right here, so I didn't think it was completely necessary. But I certainly love the storage right here. And this is function, and I definitely chose the function over the pretty on this side.
I think that faceplate was something like $700 to put on. The one Amy was talking about, the fake front on it, and that's one place I think I said time out. That's a little too much.
So another one of the structural options, and again, these have to be chosen at the time of contracts, in some cases sight unseen. The structural option that we chose was the gourmet kitchen. Gourmet kitchens, I wanted the true double oven, and that's exactly what we have. But the gourmet kitchens themselves, it's not just one. You don't just upgrade to a gourmet kitchen. There's different levels of that with the different appliances. You can have KitchenAid appliances. You can have Whirlpool appliances. It could be a standard double oven here, and then this could be your microwave / convection oven. That's what a lot of people go for. Over here, you'll see that we have the vented hood up here, but we didn't have a place for the microwave because I chose the true double and not the microwave / convection combo. So we had to locate our microwave down here low. And I think I mentioned it before. I'm not real sure how I'm going to feel about this. Once we get living in the home, maybe it will function perfectly for us, or maybe it will always feel a bit awkward and out of place. But at the moment, this is more important to me down low than it would have been to interrupt the beauty of the upper cabinets.
The first time I saw a microwave insert like that, I thought it was for someone with accessibility issues. Like they brought the microwave down lower, maybe someone was in a wheelchair or something like that, and I thought that was a great idea. And by the way, that's still a great idea. Even if you're not putting in a gourmet kitchen and need to put the microwave down for that, think about accessibility and consider that as an option, because it didn't cost us anything to move that over. In fact, I think we saved some money on the cabinets because we weren't using that one cabinet face.
So this is what I would have lost if I didn't choose to have the microwave down low. I would have lost the ability to have the pretty glass cabinet. There's not a lot of places that it can go, and I really didn't want it to look awkward or out of place up high. And I really like my glass cabinets for great decor and a little decorative artistic element to the kitchen, and the function of that microwave is just going to be tucked down low for me.
I really like those glass, the glass cabinet that Amy picked there. In a future episode, we'll share with you what she actually wanted to do was from the original model, which was a whole bunch of glass cabinets, but it was absolutely price prohibitive. It also created, I think, a more blocky kind of kitchen. So I really like how ours turned out. We'll show you how that was in the future, but that option would have cost, more than $10,000 to put glass cabinets across the top, and I think fortunately we decided against that.
Another structural option that was available that we definitely took advantage of was the pet bath option, the pet room option. So this is the laundry room. The laundry room is going to stay this way. This is configured. We did add the cabinets. Cabinets don't come with that. So we added that aspect of it more so as a design element. But back over here, this is what we chose. Now, if we had not chosen this option, there would have been a little bit, essentially this amount of space in the garage. And that would have been a really nice niche for like the hot water heater or maybe even the utility sink. But for us, we wanted to utilize this space for a pet bath. So if we can get Lucy up here, perhaps we can get her bathed a little bit more easily. But it also allows us the opportunity to have some more decorative cabinetry up there. We did ask them to do a special thing for us on this side, and that's going to be where the cat's litter box goes. I think that's a good spot.
So an untold story of that pet bath area is that Amy fell in love with the Yorkshire partly because she was touring the model home with Adam Christman, who's our great friend up in New Jersey, who's a veterinarian, and he did a tour with us of pet things for pet homes. And we sort of fixated on that pet bath that was in there. And so when we had the chance to do that, there was no way we were not doing that particular structural option.
Another structural option that we chose, which was going to come with our gourmet kitchen structural option anyway, but it is a structural option for most builders, which is to be vented to the outside. So if you don't know what that means, you can look, if you have a microwave up above your kitchen stove right now, if you open up those cabinets and there's a box in there, that means you're vented to the outside. So any smoke or smells while you're cooking, if you turn on that exhaust fan, it will just suction it out to the exterior of the home. If you don't, that just means it recirculates that air throughout your home. So the structural option of the venting to the outside was definitely something we were adding as well.
Did you hear that? She said that with the gourmet kitchen that we would get the venting anyway as part of the gourmet kitchen. So I would ask, as the spreadsheet man, then how come right here, where it says vent to exterior, I paid $635 for that? So did I pay $635 for it and then it was included with the gourmet kitchen and then we had to take it out? I'm going to check on that before we close because that's $635 maybe I can save.
When we were thinking about the different structural options, this one was a no-brainer for us. This is a studio suite option. So if we had not chosen this, we'll kind of explain to you what this would originally have looked like. But for us, we chose this option. So right behind this door is the single car garage. There's a 2-bay and a single bay. So the single bay garage opens here. It comes straight into this entryway. There's a big walk-in closet over there, and then this is like its own mini apartment. Plenty of room for your bed, nightstand, dressers, chest of drawers, whatever you need. And then over here, you've got plenty of room for your sectional, even a table and chairs if you needed it, to make this truly a little mini apartment, including the wet bar option. This is a wet bar. There's a sink. We're just missing our faucet, but there's a sink here. There will be backsplash here. You'll notice you have upper and lower cabinets. And then of course over here, you have the mini fridge. Then you have a full bath over here. It is just a single sink with your shower stall and then of course the toilet. But what this is great for resale, not that I'm planning on selling it anytime soon, but it is something that generationally speaking, it's a great thing to have in case you have family members, parents, in-laws that need to come and stay with you. This is likely going to be Eric and my room eventually. But at the moment, it's my teenage son, Lucky Duck. All right, so here is that circular foyer. But real quick, if we had not chosen that studio suite, that would have been one bedroom, and then this would have been another room. So it would have been dining room, extra space, bedroom, and in this case, we just kind of made it a whole studio suite over there.
So if you look, that studio suite cost $10,000. It's a very round number, which makes me think they just kind of picked a number. We're a little worried about spoiling our son, to be honest. He's got his own garage bay, he's got his own bathroom, he's got his own little bar area, so we're hoping he steps up and keeps that nice and clean. And as Amy said, maybe someday that'll be our room. As we get a little older, maybe it'll be the multi-generational space for us.
So the tray ceiling, so if you don't know what a tray ceiling is, it's a ceiling, you can see how it's kind of bumped up and you have kind of a different level. So that's your tray ceiling, and we chose this as a structural option here in this foyer. We also added those 4 additional cans just as a little FYI. Now over here, which is the dining room, we actually chose not to do the tray ceiling. It was a structural option that we could have done. We did not do it. We did it in our master bedroom, but we did not choose to do it in here. Now, at the time that we were choosing all of these options, we were assuming this was going to be our dining room. That is the designated space. That's where what it's supposed to be. It's right off of the kitchen. But as we were going through this home and how the layout was going to work for us, I think we've changed our mind, and this is going to actually be my office. And now thinking that through, it probably would have been nice to have that tray ceiling and maybe to have even added an outlet here in the floor, but we didn't.
This is called the desk nook area. It's really called Eric's office. Did you see the big open nice space that Amy has for her office? The reality is I like it that my office is more cozy. So this was a structural option that we chose because originally we thought this would kind of be the office and we were going to have the dining room be the dining room. Now we kind of have 2 offices, but this one is mine.
In the master bedroom, we chose to do the tray ceiling. We added the tray ceiling. We also added the 4 additional recessed lights. There is a center fixture that will be hung. I think we're doing a ceiling fan here in this room because I like the air while I sleep. But here's one of those situations where what I had hoped and planned on, I don't think is going to be able to work. This tray ceiling has 2 obstacles that was never really pointed out because probably people don't think it matters, but it totally matters. So our end game for this tray ceiling was going to be to have the wood beams in here. But take a look at the center lighting fixture and the 4 recessed lights that are very symmetrically placed and see what the other 2 challenges are. Number 1, smoke detector. Number 2, vent. So if I were to try to put beams in here, there's not really any way that I can do it where it's not going to interfere with one of those 2 important elements of the internal structure of the home and of course the safety for the smoke detector.
I learned something from my wife all the time, and she found out that the smoke detector in any bedroom has to be at the highest point in the bedroom. So if you have a tray ceiling, the smoke detector is going to go inside the tray like that because it has to, by code, be at the highest point in the room.
Another structural option that we opted for is the door behind this door. So this is actually going to be a door to the outside. This pool bath door is going to allow us access from the lanai to the backyard. So once the pool is installed, if you need to use the restroom, you'll be able to easily come in this way instead of coming in through those beautiful sliders right off of the kitchen. But for Eric and I, we are super excited that in the morning when we let the dogs out, we can go from here to there to let them go outside that way. I know, silly thing to be excited about.
Here's the door they're putting in for Amy. It's upside down at the moment, but it's got a nice window in it. She always says a light because she's more technical, but that's technically a light in the door, but I call it a window.
With new construction, you're going to have these taller ceilings, typically 9 feet 4 inches, sometimes even taller on this first floor. So when you have these taller ceilings with new construction, then there is the question of what doors do you get? Because a standard height door is going to feel a little bit stubby with such a tall ceiling. You'll have a lot of additional wall space between the top of the door frame and the actual ceiling. So these are 8-foot doors. This is another structural option. Obviously it's structural because it affects how the home is built with the opening here. So on the first floor, we did these 8-foot doors. While we did the 8-foot doors downstairs, upstairs we decided to do the standard door height because honestly, there's only a couple of doors that are visible and I already had a great decor idea for what I wanted to do above this door in the entrance into the media room.
Lot of pre-plums. We pre-plumbed as a structural option for the sink. Now the pre-plumb option is what we paid for structurally, but then at the design center we asked them to actually put in a tub.
Another structural option for this Jack and Jill bathroom is the shower in lieu of the tub. This is one of the structural options that we chose.
We also had to pay for the pre-plumb for the laundry sink. So the plumbing behind here is what we paid for in a structural option, and then at the design center we chose to put the actual sink in the cabinets here. So another pre-plumb item that we paid for with the structural options was the pre-plumb for the summer kitchen. I had hoped to have the summer kitchen ready when we moved in, like have it ordered and stuff, or maybe do it myself. I just haven't done it yet. So that's something that will be coming later down the road. You'll see it maybe in another episode, or when we talk about building the pool, we'll get that put in because I want to grill some stuff because I'm a man.
Here is a structural option that you actually can't see because it's behind the walls. So again, one of the options that we had to choose at the time of contract was an additional insulation here on these interior walls. Obviously your home is well insulated from the exterior and your attic space, but what isn't necessarily insulated are these interior walls. Now this wall is in my office and this is going to butt up against my son, my teenage son's room. So I'm certainly glad that we added that extra insulation on all of these interior walls.
So this structural option kind of made me mad because it's $1,000 to move this from around the corner to right here. Now we did that because we want to put a pool in, but it just seems like it's all the same stuff. So why did we have to pay them just to put it over here? Why couldn't we just say we want it there?
There's multiple options for the stair railing, and this is one that confused all of us, even though we thought we knew we needed to triple and quadruple confirm. And even at that point, we were still confused when the home was under construction as to what exactly we were getting. So the structural option is the half wall, which is something that looks like that, the half wall or this open railing. So of course, a really dynamic visual of this floor plan is the open railing look. So we had the option to do open railing here, and then right when we get up here to this part, this wall right here could have been a half wall that looks like that, or like what we did, continuing the visual open look. This section right here could have also been open railing. We opted for the half wall for two reasons. Number one, we just wanted to have somewhat of a sound barrier, not that it's going to help too much, but and then I also was thinking ahead to grandchildren and to pets, just the fewer options for them to try to get creative and brave would be better. The other thing too is there's not a lot of wall space in this room, so I was like, I'll do something on the other side of this wall.
We also paid about $2,000 for something called a pool ready package. So our house is pool ready. I think that's electrical. I don't think that's anything to do here. I expected there to be like tubes and stuff here, but Amy's shaking her head at me from behind the camera like, no. So it's something. We're pool ready. Oh, maybe it's that.
Off of the media room upstairs, there's this little nook. Now we are calling this our pub. It's our soda bar per se. So this is standard. This option comes because it's just a part of this media room option. But this servery or this counter with cabinet space is an option. So it's really dusty at the moment, but this is a sink. We're again waiting on the plumbing. We have cabinets below, and this is going to hold another mini fridge. Now here's another thing, again, everyone kind of gets confused. I thought that there would be upper cabinets here. I also probably knew that there wasn't going to be upper cabinets here. Candidly, I couldn't really remember until I went back and looked through all of our paperwork, and we could have done cabinets up there, but as it is, I think I'm going to do some floating shelves and really kind of accentuate our really cool soda bottles that we have. Now we're going to talk about a few of the oopsies, I like to call them. And some of these are our own fault, things that we did not know, did not think to ask, or mistakes that we made in our process, whether it was structural options or design, and then a few of the oopsies from the actual construction process. You know, I always tell clients every single time that my measure of a builder is how they recover when something goes wrong, because something always does. It's humans that build these homes. We are not perfect, they are not perfect, and sometimes things happen like this oopsie over here. So this room is going to be our Pilates and our Peloton room. So this is going to be the workout room that I promised New Year's resolution I will visit more frequently. So this room is going to be our exercise room. Of all of the bedrooms, this is the only one that has a reach-in closet. It's not a walk-in. Now, one day when we were out here looking at the home, we weren't looking to find anything wrong. We were just, excited about our new home. And when I came over here, the closet was only about like this deep. And when I stood, I was like, a coat hanger wouldn't even fit in there. Something had gone wrong with the measurements. The closet had been framed out incorrectly. A mistake, an honest mistake. But I did bring that to the attention of the builder, and we did have two options to fix it. One option was a bit more invasive, time consuming, and would have been a lot more intricate, which would have involved the wall back behind it and the AC closet and that servery or that wet bar area in the media room, which is adjacent to this wall. So instead of going to all of that, we opted to just fix the situation by bringing the closet, I believe it was about 7 inches back into the room. It meant that we lost a little bit of square footage here in this bedroom, but that was okay because I felt like in the long run, we wanted to stay on track. It was a mistake. It was no one's intentional mistake, but we found a solution. We talked about this a little while ago. This is the Jack and Jill bathroom, and the fact that the structural option that we chose was this shower in lieu of the tub. Now, that was an oopsie on our part. The other bathroom that is upstairs, I thought, was going to be a tub standard with the shower. And in that case, I was like, well, if that's going to have a tub, I want this one to have the shower. This will be the one that my daughter uses. The shower will be more conducive for her. Well, I did not realize, because I did not ask the question, I made an assumption, and no one from the builder guided me through that if I chose this as a structural option, there would be no tubs upstairs, which is okay, but it's always nice to have a tub in one of those secondary bathrooms. Another oopsie that was actually, this happened during construction. This was not my fault. This was just an honest mistake on the crews that were building our beautiful home, is this listello. So the instructions were 60 inches. So they were supposed to go 60 inches and then go up a foot. Instead, they misread it and they went 60 inches and they came down. Now, so in other words, this entire band of listello is down 1 foot from where I wanted it. Not a big deal. Little bit frustrating, but not a big deal. The builder noticed it. The builder has confirmed. They will make us happy, because remember, my biggest thing is how they recover. What is the customer service when something goes wrong? Again, I'm not mad at anybody, so we're going to try to find a solution. So the expectation is that we're going to meet in the middle. Instead of ripping out all of this listello, which would be wasteful, and I don't want to waste it, it looks beautiful. So instead, we're just going to take out this row, this 6-inch white tile, and we're going to add another 6 inches of the listello to make my listello band even bigger. And it's a great way to meet in the middle when these little hiccups come along.
So that is our real-time update, our structural update, and our oopsie update. We'll have more of those oopsies for you going forward. As you're watching this now, we are moving out of our current house. So next week's video will be a lot of that, about moving out, where we're going, where we're staying in the meantime, and then we'll show you a little video of just how things are during that week. And we'll talk more about the construction process, and we'll give you real-time updates as they sort of race to get our home done by the day before Thanksgiving. So we'll see you next time on A Home for the Holidays.